I thought this was mandatory class.
Get them on the line. All right. Shalom, Lord of Christ. This is the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. This is the Thursday night class. Y'all already know what it is. Look, get your questions in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a powerful class tonight. You know, we got Warwicker in the building. You know what I'm saying? We got a Hawabah in the building. So y'all already know what to do, man. Look, keep it locked. Go get your snacks, go get your drinks, and then come right back. All right? Let's get it.
I think we got a problem. Got a problem.
Let's go. Get up. It's that club, baby. You hear that? We can't sit down to that. Okay.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Sheik Luch, LOXD Block, Silverback. Hey, yo, right now I need to shout out the ISUPK classes.
I want to give a huge, big, humongous shout out to all the UPK schools.
We can't sit down to that.
Shout out to Black Watch, hosted by General Johanna. Word, I need y'all to check out Cross the Line Radio as well, man. They've been open all week from 7 to 9. They ain't shut down because of the corona, the COVID, and all that. They rockin' strong, you know what I mean?
Think we got a problem, but really it ain't though. It's one of me, and these bitches I count about 3, 4. Think we got a problem, but homie just all talk. He ain't gon' pop a balloon with a pitchfork. Think we got a problem in the club with this dog. Rude boys, dogs, ladies, everybody. Yo, shit, what they want?
All right, Shalom, Lord of Christ, man. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's all good. Let me get my sounds up here real quick. Get my sounds up real quick. Man, I feel like Pastor Jenkins up here. All right. So tonight, man. Also, you know, before we get started, I get this off the table. Before we get started, you know what I'm saying? I want to thank the brothers that been holding it down, you know what I'm saying, while my family was dealing with, a death in the family. Big shouts out to Isaiah Ward, you know what I'm saying, who held it down with us, you know what I'm saying, and did his priestly duty, which was honorable, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, which was very honorable for that brother to do. So big shouts out to him, the ISUPK and the burial department, you know what I'm saying, for all their support, the support from the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. So big shouts out to everybody. I really appreciate y'all. You know what I'm saying? Without y'all, I wouldn't have been able to get through this hard time that we had to deal with. So, the water to y'all. All right. So tonight, we're going to talk about a few things tonight. We're going to talk about the old and new covenant, right? I'm just going off of what I've been hearing today, like what I've been hearing on social media. So the tithes is another thing, right? Where Creflo Dollar said that we're not supposed to pay tithes. Right? That's the thing now, because everybody says, see, I knew it was corn. Now I'm too wild. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about camps. I was talking to a brother, and that's what he said. He said, yo, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm down with everything that y'all talking about, but I can't do camps. So gonna talk to that brother. We're gonna pull some scriptures for that brother. Let me see. Let me just share this real quick. If y'all could share the feed, if y'all don't mind, it'd be like 2 seconds. If y'all could share the feed real quick. Let me see. All right, so we got Nahalia in the building. What's going on, Nahalia? We got Wyatt Kwame in the building. What's going on, Wyatt Kwame? And okay, we got the old and new covenant. All right, so let me go ahead and share this real quick. And y'all, if y'all got any questions, we'll answer any questions that the class might have. If anybody got any questions, we can go ahead and get them on. Let me see. Let me share this real quick. All right. Anybody got any questions in the building? You know what? You could turn that light off right there. While you, Kaash, if you could. I don't even need it. You could just unplug it. Yeah. All right, Most High in Christ. All right. Old and New Covenant, man. Anybody know about anything about the Old and New Covenant? I know y'all hear that a lot, right? You hear a lot of Old Testament Israelites talk about how, we don't have to follow Christ. And I'm saying all of this because it is actually a real thing that's out there. You know what I'm saying? Like in the clubhouse and, online, of course, YouTube, Facebook, you know what I'm saying? So what we're going to do is I want to go into that. I want to hit on that. And we're going to show the old covenant, right? We're going to show the new covenant. Then we're going to get into some tides with Creflo. That's a, have y'all ever heard anybody else named Creflo? That got to be made up. But I don't even think his last name. I think that can't be his name. It's like Whoopi Goldberg. But we're going to that, and then also we're going to some camps. All right. So let's see. All right, no questions in there. Any questions in here? Everybody good? You good, Zabakar? You ain't got no questions? Nothing? That's how you know when a brother not reading nothing. Because you don't got no questions. Because I know I do. Go ahead, sis.
So earlier, I was just like in deep thought about the Most High.
Mm-hmm. I do that too.
That the Most High created us and created everything.
Mm-hmm.
But for a second, my mind went to who created the Most High?
Yeah.
How did he get here? And then it's like my mind just stopped.
Yeah, you start to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start. And I remember.
The one verse that I think about is where it says, "My ways and my thoughts are higher than yours."
Yeah.
Would that apply to that?
Yeah, because it's like, what he say? Get me right on this knot when he said, like we don't know how hair grows, or we don't know how bones grow. Like we don't even know like that to be. So we don't even know how that happens. So it's like the other things is like we don't even need to like really focus our mind on. But you know what? It's crazy because my stepdad asked me that too. He was like, "Well, who created Christ? Well, who created the Lord? Who created the Lord? Well, who created that? Him. Then who created him? You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Bible doesn't talk about it specifically, but it does say that he's the Ancient of Days. So it was no one before him. And then also, if you start doing that, then you start probably going back to like, well, maybe he looked like an alien or something. Right. Was you able to find it? If no, I'm in second looking for it right now. No sweat. We'll come back to it, sis. But yeah, that's one of them questions I had to ask myself. I was like, I wonder, you start going off into everything, but it's like we got enough here to really think about, you know what I'm saying? Like we got enough here like to really conquer our spirit and conquer our flesh. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really like what the main thing is, you know what I'm saying? And really like, being around death, it'll really show you that. You know what I'm saying? Like I learned a lot in this last week that just passed. I learned a lot because you realize, and sis, too, because you work in the healthcare industry, like, and you're around death and you see it. And it's like, you know, in the end, nothing matters. Doesn't matter. And you realize and you really understand like about Solomon, how Solomon, you know, he was the wisest king, and he had the money, he had women, he had, you know, gold, he had, you know, all horses, everything that you could ever want. But he realized that all that stuff was just vanity and nothing mattered but what you did in your life. You know what I'm saying? How you served the Lord and how, you know what I'm saying, and the life that you lived. And that's what he understood. And that's what trumped everything, right, that we do in our lives that's superficial. What's going on, sis? All right. So go ahead, Schubert. Mm-hmm.
So this Christian lady, she had sent me a video, and it was a video of, I guess it was like a famous, an ex-famous boxer.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about, and he obviously became a Christian pastor.
Mm-hmm.
And in the video, he was talking about how he used to dabble in like witchcraft and like voodoo.
Mm-hmm.
And at one point, he said that that when you say curse words, that they have a demon attached to them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say the F word, there was a demon attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Use that to say that there's life and death in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
My question is, like,
No, go ahead.
my question was, like, is witchcraft today, like, is like voodoo and stuff, is that real?
Yeah, witchcraft is real. Yeah. You know, like what the scriptures say, familiar spirits. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's real. You know what I mean? And that's why we ain't like going to like a fortune teller and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Remember, Saul was doing that. Remember, Saul was going to the you know, doing witchcraft and stuff like that. But at the same time, like, you saying that he was saying that curse words, right?
Yeah, he said that if you say like MF,
Yeah.
you're actually cursing your mother, and you shouldn't say that because it has a demon on it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, to curse somebody is to say, like, you're going to be a servant of servants. You know what I'm saying? The Lord, I hope the Lord does this. I hope the Lord kills you and your dad gets cancer and your mom, blah, blah, blah. That's cursing somebody. But cursing somebody isn't like saying, you know, you stupid MF. You know what I mean? That's just language. It's English. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's, you know, a lot of Christians say that, like, oh, you said damn. You know, that's curse. You know, that's not a curse. Go ahead, sis.
I learned in like English class. I learned in English class that like the word fuck meant more than unlawful common knowledge. It just meant that you were with the person that you were. Is that true?
Let's look it up. Let's look up the dictionary. Look up the F word.
Said fuck.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's like that could be taken as a good thing. It could be taken as a bad thing, depending on how you use it in the context you're using it. Go ahead.
It said. Hey.
Michael Lianos. That's a hard name right there. Pause. Mataziala in the building. All right. So anybody got the definition of the F word?
I definitely have, sir. Oh my God. All right. This is the definition of the word fuck. Have sex with someone.
Yeah.
And then it's another.
What's the second one?
Run or damage someone. Ruin. So
Like ruin.
Ruin or damage someone.
Like you F something up.
Right. And then there's a third one. An act or instance of having sex.
Yeah. So I'm not, you know, you have to take me back in the history on this, sis. But yeah, I mean, commonly what is referred to as like sex, or I'm gonna like F you up, I'm gonna beat you up, I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna destroy something that you have or you or something like that. But or your mom's MFer. It's like a derogatory term depending on how you use it. You know, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong. I just don't have enough, you know, understanding on it, like in the history of the word, the etymology of the word, or where it came from, to really say, you know, what they use it as before. Go ahead.
And also, then they use that scripture where it said, to let no corrupt communication come out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
They try to say that, you know, you shouldn't curse and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
My other question is, what is that verse really saying?
The corrupt communication. All right, you want to pull it? Let's pull it. Corrupt communication. All right, that sounds like it's probably like in like Corinthians or something. Hold on, I'll get it for you, warrior. Well, let me see. Corrupt communication. Sound like something Paul would say. Let's read it. Yeah, 4:29. I'm looking at it right now. And you can read it whenever you got it, warrior. Matter of fact, go up 2 verses.
It's the book Ephesians, chapter 4 and verse 27. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, that he may have to give to him that needeth.
Mm-hmm.
Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying,
Mm-hmm.
that it may minister.
That it may what?
Minister grace unto the hearer.
You see that? Like the corruption is like telling people that the law is done away with. That's corruption coming out of your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Like telling people that Christ died for everybody and the world is, you know, and we got to love everybody. That's corruption. You know what I mean? That's coming out of a person's mouth, like the things that you say, right? But it says, read it one more time from verse 28. No, verse 29.
Verse 29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good.
That is what?
That which is good to you. Of edifying.
Of what?
Edifying.
It's teaching, man. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want to do. You want to say things that's going to edify and teach brothers. You know what I mean? The right way. You don't want to teach them that the law is done away with because that's corruption coming out of your mouth. Because you're corrupting that brother by telling him that all things are to be received with Thanksgiving, and you got a brother thinking that he can eat pork. You know what I'm saying? Or you know how those scriptures that they jack up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what this is talking about. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Was there any more on that?
The etymology of the word "fuck" comes from the word "fight." It's Old German. It means to desire eagerly or to move about restlessly. To move about briskly, later give trouble, vex. 1570, but it wasn't into the dictionary in the American dictionary until 1960.
Yeah. So what's the one you said to desire something? What?
To
beginning when?
To desire eagerly.
Yeah, brother be like, I want to F that person right there. That's desire, right? If you don't, you see a sister, you know what I'm saying? You be like, I want to, we don't do that in here. All right? It's not in here. When we was in the world, a long, time ago. Kayal in the building. All right, Kayal. All right, checking in from work. Okay, you said you Michael the Prince of Peace. All right, no sweat. All right. All right, so we're talking about the old covenant. You know what? It'd be crazy, man. Like I'm gonna turn it over to you, man. Because people be calling the phone like, yeah, man, I'm Christ. And I was like, yeah, man, you should, come to class. He like, man, that'll be a conflict of interest, man. Cause you know what I mean? I'm like, it's crazy. One brother, he just called, was like, yo, man. I be hearing it on the voicemail. He like, yo, man, I got $1 billion, right? And like the government is trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? And because I know, I got the real Bible. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't got the Bible. Y'all don't got the real Bible. See, I got the Bible, you know what I'm saying, from the 1700s, you know what I'm saying? And the government is trying to track me down. Hold on, I got to go, man. Like, and I be listening to this like, that's crazy. Like, we track nuts, man, in here. So the old and new covenant, Zerah Bakar, what are we talking about here? What we talking about? The old covenant and the new covenant, because what the Old Testament Israelites say is that we're not under none of that Christ stuff. In the New Testament, we are only under, you know, the Old Testament. So what would you say?
Strictly under law. So when they say the old covenant, that means we were had to be killed for us considered sin by a priest. But the new covenant, which is the Christian church, you know, they say everything is done away with.
Right.
So,
So if I was telling you that what you saying is the New Testament, y'all New Testament Israelites, y'all niggas don't know what you're talking about, what would be the first thing that you would ask me to do? Like, how would you try to convince me? Right. Which one?
Matthew 5:17.
I came not to do away with the law. Okay.
Yeah, like you know, the law is not done away with. As far as the we're not going for the like for a cup for the Old Testament.
See, because the thing is, man, you know, like a lot of times when people will come at you, you know, they'll know a lot of scriptures. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll know a lot of scriptures on you, and they could fluster you if you're not really rooted in what you was taught. You know what I'm saying? Like always understand that no matter what a person might come with or how it may sound or what they may say, you always stick to what you was taught, and you'll be good. You know what I'm saying? And always like take the time to really listen to what they're saying and try to find the cut in how they're saying it. Right. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna give a quick breakdown on it, right? And we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna tell you about the old covenant and the new covenant. Let me get Psalms 50:5. How do we make a covenant with the Lord? Zerah Bakar. How do we make a covenant with the Lord? Okay, so who's the saints? All right. So we're gonna go. You know what I'm saying? I'm just picking on you now, but we're gonna go into it and bring it up. All right. And then I'm gonna give you a little bit of history on how we made the covenant, the old covenant, and all that, and then we'll come up to the new covenant, and then we'll just go on to something else. All right. So let me get Psalms 50:5. All right, you got it, warrior.
The book of Psalms, chapter 50 and verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice.
You see that? Like, who made the covenant with the Lord by sacrifice? We did. The Israelites did, right? So let me go. Let me give you another scripture. Let me get Psalms 148:14. You got it, warrior.
The book of Psalms, chapter 148 and verse 14.
Come on with it.
He also exalted the horn of his people. The praise of all his saints.
Of his what?
Of his saints. Even of the children of Israel.
Say it one more time, warrior.
He also exalted the horn of his people. The praise of all his saints. Even of the children of Israel.
Right. So we know now that the Israelites are the saints. Right? You with me? Zerah Bakar? You writing it down? You need a pen?
I got it right here.
You got a pen? You got a piece of paper?
I got it.
No sweat. All right. We go. I'm just messing with Zerah Bakar today. All right. Yeah, because Zerah Bakar gonna be a juggernaut out there on camp, man.
That's right.
All right. Because the battle gonna come up, and I ain't gonna say nothing. I'm just gonna let them go ahead and work it out. All right. So the sacrifice by fire, right? And we understand that the saints is who? The Israelites, right? All right, no sweat. All right. Even of the children of Israel. Now let's go back into where we made the covenant. Remember where we had the old covenant, right? Where we made the covenant with the Lord, right? We're gonna go back to where that actually happened at. All right. That's back in Exodus, the 24th chapter. Exodus 24:6.
common concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Exodus. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 6.
Mm-hmm.
And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins,
Mm-hmm.
and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. He took the book of the covenant
Uh-huh.
and read it in the audience of the people.
The book of the covenant. Uh-huh. Go ahead.
And they said, all that the Lord have said will we do.
See that's when we were making the covenant. Because we basically said to the Lord, like, okay, everything that you saying to us, Moses, we're gonna do it. You see what I'm saying? Because he's telling us the curses and the blessings, like what's gonna happen if you keep the commandments, and what's gonna happen if you don't. And we're saying, yeah, we will do it. Right? Read on.
And be obedient.
Uh-huh.
And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people,
Mm-hmm.
and said, behold, the blood of the covenant,
Mm-hmm.
which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words.
Right. So that's when we made the covenant. Right. That's when we made the first. That was the first covenant. Right. The first covenant was the punishments, right, that we will receive for breaking the law, right, and the blessings that we will receive if we kept the law. Right. That's when we made the covenant by blood. Right there. Right there. All right. Now, 6 and 8. All right, no sweat. All right, so let me get Deuteronomy 11 and 26. And if I'm moving too fast, I'll slow down in case y'all need to get y'all precept books right. Go ahead, sis.
Can you repeat that again?
All right, so we're going to go to Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
Common concept.
I feel good. I've been out for a whole 7 days. 11 and 26. So I had a chance to, go through some breakdowns. I'm good, Thushiyam, for at least a couple weeks. All right, 11 and 26.
Common concept. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 11 and verse 20.
So remember, we made the covenant with the Most High, right? He sprinkled the blood on us, right? Zerubbabel, he sprinkled the blood on us, right? Moses sprinkled the blood on us, and we said that we would what? We would do what the Lord told us to do, right? That's when we made the covenant, and he sprinkled the blood on us, right? He sprinkled some on the altar too. But let's read Deuteronomy 11 and 26.
Behold, I set before you this day a blessing and a curse.
See, that's the two things, the opposite ends of the spectrum, right? That comes along with us making this covenant. Go ahead.
And blessing, if ye obey the commandments of the Lord your God,
Mm-hmm.
which I command you this day,
Mm-hmm.
and a curse, if you will not obey the commandments of the Lord your God,
Mm-hmm.
but turn aside out of the way which I command you this day, to go after other gods, which ye have not known.
You see that? So we got that's the covenant that we're saying to the Most High, look, we're gonna follow the laws, we're gonna follow the commandments and the statutes, which is what? What's the laws, the statutes, and commandments? What is it? What you say?
No.
Bless your Christian heart, man. What's the commandments, man? What's the laws, the statutes, and the commandments? What is it to us? Go ahead. Yes. I'm gonna get this brother a bomb. Right? He said, government. That's what it is. It's a government, right? Because remember, the laws. I remember when Knock broke this down. The laws is between what? Me and you, right? Laws is between us. The statutes is how you govern a city or a town, right? That's how you govern a town or a city. The statutes and the commandments is between us and the Lord, right? And without that, we don't have the law or the rule of law. We don't have government. Without government, we can't be respected on the global scale. That's why you don't see nobody up there in NATO fighting for the African Americans. You see my point? Because we're not even on that level to even be sitting in the same room with those people talking about nuclear war, talking about, sanctions and different things like that. We're not even on that level. You know what the level we're on? We're on TikTok level. We're on Instagram level. We're on Facebook level, right? We're on entertainment. We're not on the weightier matters and the things that are very, very serious, right? We're not even on that. We feel in our mind that long as the oppressor is good, we'll be good. You know what I mean? As long as he's fine, we'll be fine because we're under him, and you know, and long as he's over us and he's good, we'll be good. All right. Our future is his future. Right? All right, no sweat. Who that, Tootie? What's up, Toot? She don't know me now. All right. All right, no sweat. All right. Boom. All right, so we're done with that, right? So y'all got me, right? Y'all understand? Y'all good to go, right? No sweat. What's going on, Tazi? All right. Shalom, Lord Christ. All right, no sweat. All right, let me get Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Go ahead, sis. All right, no sweat, sis. We at Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Because now we know that now I'm going back to where we made the covenant at. We made the covenant by blood, right? We made the covenant by blood. That's how you know when you go to Hebrews 9 and 15, when it says to them that was under the first testament, he's the mediator. For this cause, he's the mediator for the transgressions that was under the first testament. Now we know because no other nation made the covenant by blood. Moses wasn't there sprinkling it on the Elamites. He wasn't there sprinkling the blood on Africans. He was there sprinkling the blood on the children of Israel to make the covenant with the Most High, right? And that's how we know. What I'm giving you right now is the history so that you can always go back to that. So when somebody try to come up to you like an Old Testament Israelite talking about, yeah, well, you know, blah, 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 we don't got to be under this or not. We're going to get into that, right, about the new covenant. But when they start talking that old covenant crap and they start talking about, it's just about the Torah and damn the New Testament, then this is how you're going to have the foundation to cut them, right? Also, the Christians who say, yeah, well, it don't matter. We all, whatever. We all one in Christ, right? Everybody, all nations. Then this is how you can cut them because you know the history of where we're at with the old covenant, right? And I'm breaking it down to y'all. All right, Psalms 147, 19 and 20. All right, you got it, warrior.
Book of Psalms, chapter 147 and verse 19.
Uh-huh.
He showed his word unto Jacob,
uh-huh,
his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Uh-huh.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
So say it one more time.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Uh-huh.
And as far as his judgments, they have not known them.
See what I'm saying? Because remember, the judgments would be the punishments that we would receive if we didn't follow the commandments. He didn't make that covenant with nobody else but us. So it's a closed door, wherever way you try to go. You get my point? All right, no sweat. Go. Somebody had their hand up? Oh, you just scratching your hair. No sweat.
It's like well, Jeremiah 15:6 where this. No.
Let's hear it.
Jeremiah chapter 15 verse 6.
Uh-huh.
My people have been lost sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Their shepherd have caused them to go astray.
Mm-hmm.
They have turned them away on the mountains. They have gone from mountains to hills. They have forgotten their resting place.
Well,
far as like you said, sprinkling the blood, making the covenant. The mountain was our governing body, like our law, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
So the pastor basically turned us away to now we go to hills, and they're talking about like DC.
Right, the other nations, but see, that's more so you wanna bring that with your pastor breakdown and how the pastors brought us, away from the law. So what we're talking about more so is like the old covenant specifically.
So basically, it's
right. So yeah, so I got what you're going with it. I get where you're going with it. But we got them like lined up in the sight. You know what I'm saying? We got them lined up in the infrared. Knock know what I'm talking about because I know he probably got some. But the infrared, you know what I'm saying? We got them lined up. So we stand on it so that they can't have no wiggle room. All right. So it said Psalms 147 and 19, right? It said where they didn't have, the Lord only dealt with us, right? And he have not dealt so with what?
Any nation.
Right. Keep going.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
All right. No sweat. So we good. We solid right there, right? Let me go to Deuteronomy 36 and 26. Deuteronomy, yeah, let's go there first, and then I'll go to like a couple more, and then I think we'll be solid on the old covenant. But go ahead. 32 and 26.
You said 36.
32 and 26, warrior.
Common concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32 and 26.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men.
See that? Because remember, when we broke the commandments, the Lord scattered us abroad. You know what I'm saying? He scattered us around, and he made our memory to cease. He made the remembrance of us to cease among men. That's why right now they talking about the Jewish man is a real chosen people of God, and we're just black people here. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord said, okay, you know what? What did we say in the beginning? What did we say? We said, I smell something burning, but the Lord said that I smell something burning. I'm thinking it's me. But the Lord said that we said that we would follow the Lord's laws and we would accept his judgments too when we made the covenant by blood. You know what I'm saying? So this is part of it. So the Lord is saying that if you break my laws, then this is what's going to happen to you. You are going to go into captivity, and I'm going to scatter you. Oh, that's that, right? All right. No sweat. And I would make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. That's what's burning, right? Yeah. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. And we see that that's clear today because nobody thinks that black people are the Israelites. But it's coming back. The Lord's given us that. Again, you can precept that with John 17 and 4, where it says, I will cause thee about the heritage to cease. You know what I'm talking about? What was that? Which one is that? Is it Jeremiah 17 and 4? Huh? No, it was I will make that heritage. Hold on, I got it. I think it's Jeremiah 17 and 4. I'll find it. Let me see. Let me look at it real quick. The precept that Jeremiah 17 and 4. Yeah, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever. That's the precept you want to that one that we just read.
Judy. Here.
All right, no sweat. Let me just highlight that real quick. All right, no sweat. All right, moving on. All right, let me get Hebrews 9 and 12. Hebrews 9 and 12. If I'm moving too fast, sis, just let me know. I'll slow down. Hebrews 9 and 12. You got it, warrior.
The book of Hebrews, chapter 9 and verse 12. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Right. So this is Christ. Now remember, when at the time when we made the sacrifice by blood, that's what we got. When we got the law, right? We got the law, and then if we broke the law, we got animal sacrifice, right? What we would have to do to atone for our sins. But now that Christ is here, now we don't have to do that anymore, of course, right? Read it one more time.
neither by the blood of goats and calves.
Right, because that didn't change us. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we was doing. Like, you know, like, okay, I got enough sheep so I can go ahead and do what I want because I got enough sheep to, you know, to sustain me doing whatever I wanted to do. And so neither by that wasn't making us righteous, right? The law of sacrifice wasn't making us stop doing sin, right? Read on.
But by his own blood, he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Right, that's Christ, right? Because he was a more acceptable sacrifice, right? Because what we was doing before didn't work. You could precept that with the administration of life and administration of death. Y'all know about that? The administration of life, administration of death? All right, you know about that, Zarabakar? Okay, the administration of life and administration of death, I'll just break it down real quick for you. But I got it broke down to me one time, and it stuck with me. So, you know, General Muhammad broke it down to me. The administration of life. Hold on, I'm gonna break away real quick. I'm gonna just show y'all real quick. All right, it's 1 Corinthians, right? Hold on, administration of life. Administration of life. Administration of death, right? So 2 Corinthians 3 and 7. One second, Warrior. I'm gonna get there with you right now. 2 Corinthians 3 and 7. All right, you got it, Warrior.
2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 7.
Oh, you good, sis? Y'all there? Y'all there? All right, no sweat. Sis, she a vet. She be there quick. Okay, go ahead. You got it.
But if the administration of death, written and engraven in stones, was glorious.
Was what?
Was glorious.
Was what?
Glorious. So that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away. Right.
Remember when Moses was in power, you would just get killed for being a homosexual. That was just that. You know what I'm saying? If you was an adulterer or an adulteress, you would just get stoned to death, and that was just that. But the Lord understood, and that was glorious in the sight of the Lord, right? But that was to be done away with. Why was that to be done away with? Us just dying for what we did. And being punished, I'll say it like that, and being punished for what we did. Like, well, we would just get killed. We just get punished and killed. Go ahead.
Because it never stopped.
Yeah, there you go. Let me drop you a bomb. It never fixed us. Like, look at today, right? What happens if you get caught with 30 keys? Does it stop niggas from selling 30 keys? Right now, you get 1,000 years if you kill somebody. Does that stop people from killing? No, because the punishment never made people right. The Lord understood that with us. So what did he have to do? He had to send Christ to show us how to keep the law, how to not sin against the Lord. You know what I mean? He had to do that because the punishment wasn't making it right. Like, we would see homosexuals get killed and stoned to death, but it didn't stop us from being homosexuals. You know what I mean? And so this is what the Lord, he understood. Like, the administration of death was glorious, right? But how much more the administration of life, which is through Christ. Go ahead.
So the administration of death is the punishment.
Right, that's the punishment. That was glorious in the sight of the Lord. So what the Lord had to do was he had to do something that would move the murderer to compassion. He had to do something that would move the thief to compassion, or the person who was an adulterer or an adulteress to compassion. So what would he do? What did he do? Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say if I took my daughter who didn't do nothing to nobody, right? I took my daughter that didn't do nothing to nobody. She's young. She doesn't have, she didn't do anything. But let's say I take her in front of the people and I take a knife and I slice her throat in front of everybody. And I say, hey, I killed my daughter so I don't have to kill y'all. What that would do is that would make the murderer be moved to compassion, not to murder, because he would say, damn, I was supposed to die. This little girl didn't do anything. This little boy didn't do anything. This man didn't do anything. And I'm the one that should have had my throat slit. But because he had his throat slit and I didn't have to have mine slit, that's just something that I can't pay back. So in order for me to pay that back, I have to change my life. And that's why the Lord did it. That's why the Lord killed Christ, so that he wouldn't have to keep killing us. That's the ministration of life versus the ministration of death. Right? All right. Keep reading.
Verse 8. How shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious?
Mm-hmm.
For if the ministration of condemnation be glory, much more doth the ministration of righteousness exceeding glory.
Right, because remember, Christ, through Christ, we all live. We live. We don't have to worry about being put to death because we actually are following Christ. We're following the commandments and we're actually able to live instead of just die because of our disobedience. All right. No sweat. All right. Hebrews 9. Let me get Isaiah. Let me get Hebrews 9 and 12. Go back to Hebrews 9 and 12. All right. No sweat. Yeah, if you got it, Warrior, you got it. Whenever you're ready.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 9 and verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Neither by the blood of goats and calves,
Mm-hmm.
but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place,
Uh-huh.
having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Uh-huh.
For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
how much more shall the blood of Christ,
Mm-hmm.
who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God,
Mm-hmm.
purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?
Uh-huh.
And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament,
Uh-huh.
that by means of death,
Uh-huh.
for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the
That were what?
that were under the first testament,
Uh-huh.
they which are called,
They which are what?
they which are called,
Say it one more time.
they which are called.
All right, so we're going to find out. Hold, stay right there. We're going to find out who was called. Isaiah 48 and 12. We're going to find out who was called. Somebody else can grab it if y'all can, just so we can keep it moving fast. But if somebody, we're going to find out who was called. Go ahead. You got it, Knock.
Isaiah chapter 48, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
Hearken unto me, O Jacob,
Mhm.
and Israel, my call.
Say that one more time.
Hearken unto me, O Jacob, and Israel, my call.
See that? The Israel was called, was the call. But keep going, Chupa Ka'ash.
Khan. They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
See that? Right there. That's the old covenant, right? But let's get the new covenant, right? Jeremiah 31 and 31. Right? This is real bedrock right here. Jeremiah 31 and 31. We got Miss Angry Pickles in the building. Let me drop Miss Angry Pickles a bomb. All right, we got Jeremiah. Well, we had Jeremiah 31 and 31.
Common concept.
All right, you got it, Warrior.
Behold, this is Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31.
Right on.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord,
Mm-hmm.
that I will make a new covenant.
Hey, what?
A new covenant with the house of Israel.
Right. Go ahead.
And with the house of Judah.
Check it out, y'all. When I go to buy a car, right, and I go in there into the building, Survivor Car know where I'm going with this, right? When I go in there and I say I want this car, what are they going to say? They're going to say, okay, here's an application, fill it out and get a car, right? Now, if I mess up that application, what are they going to say? Okay, when I walk into the dealership, are they going to say, all right, you want this car? Here's a new application. They're not gonna say that, right? They're just gonna give me an application, right? They're just gonna say, okay, here's an application, fill it out for the car. But if I mess up on this application, what are they gonna say? Right, here's a new application. Meaning that if I mess up the first application, then here's the new application. Get my point? Right? No, not yet. I'm gonna hold it to the end. I do want to eat though, but I can't. All right. So there you go. Right. Read it one more time.
Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 31. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Now according to the covenant that I made with their fathers. In the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt.
Well, we read about that, right? Read on.
Which my covenant they break. Although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord. But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, saith the Lord, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their God. And they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for they shall all know me, from the least of them unto the greatest of them.
Right, meaning that we ain't gonna have to teach no more. We're not going to have to do that anymore because everybody is going to already know. And then when it says, when I put my law in the inward parts, meaning that the Lord is going to put it in our minds, right? The Lord's going to have it right here. So we ain't, you know, like how we are right now. Like we don't have to, we like literally like we're teaching each other, but we're not really like per se like teaching each other because we don't know. We're teaching each other because, you know, there ain't no new people here. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're teaching each other. But you know, you get my point with it. So it's like it's going to be a time where we're not going to have to do this. We're already going to know. You know what I'm saying? Just like when we go out, we might hit out to the club or something like that. We already know what to do and what not to do when we at the club. We already know what to do when we go into certain situations. We already know how to carry ourselves because we know what the law is. All right. And that's the covenant. Right, that's the new covenant. Hebrews 8 and 7. Hebrews 8 and 7. What, you got it? No sweat. I thought you was eating pizza, man.
I can read that.
All right, no sweat. Let's get it.
This is the book of
Can
Hebrews.
you hand the brother the mic?
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 7. But if that first covenant...
Hold on. Let's start at 6.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8, verse 6. But now have he obtained a more excellent ministry. By how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant.
Of a what?
Better covenant.
You see that? He's a mediator of a better covenant, right? And it says that he obtained a more excellent ministry, right? Read on.
Which was established upon better promises. Verse 7. For if that the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. Right,
because we broke the first one. You know what I mean? We just couldn't keep it. You know what I mean? We were dying, and that's all that just kept happening. And we didn't have what it took to actually keep it. You know what I mean? In a more dominant form, because there was brothers that was keeping the commandments, of course. But I'm talking about as a nation, we failed, and because we failed, the Lord had to have a better covenant with a more excellent ministry, which was Christ, who taught us how to keep the law, how to keep, you know what I'm saying, how to be on one with the Most High, right? He taught us that, right? Read on.
For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
That's all the Bible is about, is the bringing back of the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. Mind blown, right? That's it. That's all it's about. That's all the Bible is about. That's really all it is. All right, we can go home. All right, let's get up out of here. Now I'm gonna call the brother up, turn the class over to priest. That's it. That's the end of class. That's what the Bible is about. The Bible is about the bringing back of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? You can read about that in the parable of Lazarus, right? Lazarus, the prodigal son. The prodigal son. All right? So that's that, right? I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant which I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. Right? Verse 10.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts. And I will be to them a God.
Go ahead.
And they shall be to me a people.
Right. So that's Paul quoting. He's quoting Jeremiah 31 and 31. That's all he's doing. That's all the New Testament is doing. All they're doing in the New Testament is quoting the Old Testament. That's it. So if you are Old Testament Israelite, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, because everybody in the New Testament is just quoting the Old Testament. That's it. When Christ was on the earth, he wasn't quoting nothing but the Old Testament. Go ahead. You had something you want to say?
This is just a direct cut, like especially the verse 11. To what Christians teach. You know what I'm saying? What Christians or fake Israelites is teaching. People.
They really are fake Israelites. I'm trying to tell you, man. I seen some cats say Paul was wrong.
Right.
Yo, you seen that? Fellas said Paul was wrong. I'm like, damn. Talk about being puffed up. That's crazy. But go ahead.
So I guess, sir, I was talking to an Old Testament only Israelite, right? And I mean, it just sounded like the way he was talking. It just sounded like you'd have been in the crowd and said, "Kill Christ." Wait.
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah." I said, so if he was here right now, you would say, "Kill him." He said, "Yeah."
That sucks.
I know. He had a lot of energy towards it too.
It's the same people just reincarnated.
Right.
The people that hated Christ are the same people that hated Christ and said, "We have no king but Caesar."
Right.
Stone him. Somebody just came out of the crowd. Even when I remember Paul would say, Paul would be like, "Our fathers came from under the cloud. Our fathers left out of Egypt and was guided by the cloud. And we went here and we did this and blah, blah, blah. And here. And then somebody would just be like, "That's Beelzebub." You know what I mean? Somebody like stone him. Somebody would come out. He really like broke down the pedigree of Israel, and somebody still disagreed with him. No matter how good you put it, somebody's always going to disagree. And so that's like what I understand about the truth. No matter how good we go out there, how good you speak. You could do a speaking. I sit there and I'm just listening to it like, wow, this is a great speaking that, Thusium is doing, or this is a great speaking that Gerard Bakar is doing right now, or Knock, or whoever. And somebody is going to be like, y'all racist. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. You know what I mean? Because it's just, everybody's just, you're always going to have those people that's going to hate. The ISUPK is the truth without a doubt. Right. You tripping if you think that it's any other truth other than that. Did you just see the IUIC get beat up by the church ladies? She had the shoe. She had the shoe like she was trying to get a good spot. Like she could have got in right here, but that wouldn't have got. She wouldn't have had to have good, leverage. You know what I'm saying? So she had to like move around. Like, okay, all right, I can get it right here, and start clocking him over top of his head. Even the general said that the brother's chops got exposed. You know what I'm saying? They had the brother's chops out. You know what I'm saying? They had to pull the brother shirt down so that his chops don't get exposed to the world. Go ahead, sis.
So, going back to what you said about the reincarnated, that's kind of peculiar that they would agree that if Christ was here, I would say, you know, what you just said.
Yeah.
You know, to Christ, because normally when they talk about reincarnation, they want to be King David, or they want to be John the Baptist, or somebody important. You know.
Yeah. That's the crazy. Nobody want to be the brothers that, you know, in the Bible that, you know, wasn't that prominent.
Right.
Everybody want to be the, you know, like the main, like, see, I was Ruth, you know, you know. Sister be like, see, I'm Deborah. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? It's like, that's who I am. I'm a prophetess. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm an evangelist. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would just want to be the, you know, the sister in the Bible that just, you know, nobody want to be Anna. You know what I mean? from the northern tribe, Anna, you know what I mean? Who was there. Nobody want to be Anna. But, you know, it's always got to be like somebody that's, you know, like you said, sis, like somebody that's prominent. And that's why I would say that the Lord takes away our memory. So, because that's, you know, these nuts. You ever notice that every cult that's out there, everybody say that they're Jesus? Right. Every single cult. Jim Jones said he was Jesus. Charles Manson said he was Jesus. What's his name? Yahweh Ben Yahweh said he was Jesus. Malachi York said he was Jesus. David Koresh said he was Jesus. Raj Nish, the Raj Nish cult. Everybody said that they're Jesus. It's like, wow, you know? It's crazy, man. So when the cat started talking about he was, okay, we got Power Bob and we got Miss Trader in the thing. All right, so I'm going to give a bomb for Power Bob. But I don't know who Trader is. Kayal, all right. All right, no sweat. All right, so y'all pretty much got it. All right, so we can just end it there with the whole, what's the name? So Creflo Dollar, right? Right. He said that we don't have to pay tithes. What is he really saying?
There's no law.
Not quite. Give me the inside scoop.
I would say that he's
Of course, you know what I'm saying. Did y'all watch Command Jungle Yohana show, Black Watch? No? Nobody watch it? You watch it, sis. Get the inside scoop. Watch Black Watch, man. What it is Creflo Dollar is smart, right? I'm going to break it down to y'all the same way I got it broken down, but General broke it down. He's smart, right? And it may be like, it made the light go off like, bing, like, damn, you're right. Creflo Dollar is smart. He understands that the church is falling. So what he's doing is he's saying, you know what? I was wrong. We shouldn't pay tithes, right? Because he heard enough people say that tithes is wrong and unlawful because we're supposed to be under the new covenant and the old laws are done away with. So now what he's doing is he's saying the laws, you're right. We shouldn't, tithing is wrong, right? I was wrong. See, God is working with me and I had to learn. You know what I'm saying? He's making me a stronger preacher that I can come to y'all and teach y'all the truth, right? But this is what he's really doing. What he's really doing is saying we're not under the Old Testament where you would have to pay 10%. We're under the new covenant under Christ where you would just pay and give what your heart feels. So now he's saying, look, the hell with the 10%. Now you can give 50%. Now you can get, you know what I mean? You got to read between the lines. Like, and with the way the general broke it down, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what it is. He's just doing it in a more covert way. So where people can't really understand it, what he's doing, they think that he's trying to have humility by saying that he was wrong. But really what he's doing is he figured out a way to get more money out of you. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. And we're going to go into tithing real quick, just to put that to bed, because a lot of people I've been seeing online saying, yeah, see, I seen on Facebook, it's like he's trending right now. Creflo Dollar. See, you see girls in TikTok with the duet. She's sitting there like this. You know what I mean? That's all they're doing. Because he's talking, saying, I was wrong. You know, we don't have to pay tithes. So in their mind, they're like, well, we don't got to pay tithes no more. Because, see, he's confirming it. So now we ain't got to give no money to nobody. You know what I mean? And that's what everybody want to do anyway. Right? So we're going to go into tithes a little bit and get some understanding on that. And then I'm going to go a little bit into the camps. I got like a little bit of time. So I'm going to just hit a couple of verses. All right? Here we go. Let me get Deuteronomy 14 and 22. All right, you got the microphone. All right, no sweat, warrior. You got it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed,
Mm-hmm.
that the field bringeth forth year by year.
Yeah, you know, IUIC, they believe that you don't have to pay tithes either because they're Christians.
Right.
You know, like that, like I remember when I first got into it, I was like, fake Israelite group. You know, you hear that all the time. You be like, okay, fake Israelite group. And then you would hear it so much. And then as the years go by, you start to realize, like, gentlemen, like they're right. They are fake Israelite groups. Like they really are fake. They're Christians. And that's what happened when they was out at the church. The ladies was beating on them because they're Christians and the IUIC is Christians too. Then the brother stuck the gun. The brother stuck the gun like this. Somebody should have been like, you know what I mean? Get on the ground, all y'all. Yeah, the lady too, all y'all. Church ladies, all the church ladies would have been on the ground. I'd have had them all on the ground. Like, count. Like 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, keep counting. You know what I mean? But yeah. You know what I mean? If we're gonna go viral in this moment, but I'm gonna be victorious in this viral moment. All right. And you know what I mean? You shouldn't be in front of the church anyway. Those are gangsters and pimps in this church. You forgot that these church pastors are pimps, old pimps from like the 70s and the 60s, and they are about their money. And when you go in front of the church and you telling them, yo, you fake, you don't keep the law, they don't know what they're talking about. He gonna come out there and see about you because you messing up his bread. You know what I mean? You messing up a good thing he got going. And he don't want you to out there messing up his bread. He got this big building that he got to pay rent on, a mortgage, you know what I'm saying? And he don't need you telling people that they need to repent and come to serve the Lord and all that. Go ahead.
So he sent those ladies out there, or they want those?
No, what they're doing is they're going out in front of these churches and they're trying to put a blitz on the church. You know what I mean? They're trying to put a blitz on the church. There is no traffic that's walking by, like neutral traffic that's just walking by, that's just hearing you. They're literally posted up in front of the church and yelling on a loudspeaker at the church on Sunday. And just telling them that their pastor is fake. You don't know what he's talking about. Get out of the church. You're stupid. You're dumb for going to church. You're not following the commandments. Like, of course, they're going to come and see you. They're going to come see about you what's happening right there because you're literally putting a blitz on the church. All right. Keep going, warrior. Uh-huh. Verse 23. I think it's 14 and 23. Mm-hmm.
And thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name there.
Right. So what's the place that the Lord shall choose to place his name there? What is that? How do you know that? It says, the Lord thy God in the place, it says, and thou shalt bring us forth year by year, and thou shalt eat before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose to place his name. Right? Keep going. Let's keep going. I'll explain it later.
the tithe of thy corn,
Mm-hmm.
of thy wine,
Mm-hmm.
and of thy oil,
Mm-hmm.
and the firstlings of thy herds and of thy flocks,
Mm-hmm.
that thou mayest learn to fear the Lord thy God always.
Right. Like paying tithes is like, it's wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Like it says the fear, right? What it say? It said, learn to fear the Lord thy God, right? And what's the fear of the Lord? Go ahead, sis. Exactly, right. Drop you a bomb. The beginning of wisdom, right? So that's the fear, right? You like paying tithes is like a spiritual thing, right? You know, like remember we used to always bring out the scripture, you know what I'm saying, where you lay up your treasure, that's where your heart is going to be, right? You help out with the school, with your increase, that's where your heart is going to be because that's where your money's at. You know, you put your money on the stock market, you like,
Right.
it's going up, it's going down. You know, you watching that stock market when you put your money on that crypto. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where your heart is at, because that's where your treasure is, right? But it's a spiritual thing. It's deep. It's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? For a brother or a sister to pay tithes, right? Read on. It says, and learn to fear the Lord thy God always. Read on. Verse 24.
And if,
20, yeah.
And if the way be too long for thee,
Mm-hmm.
so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there.
Okay, what does that mean? Remember, it came back to that with the first question that I asked you. Like, what does that mean? Where it says, which the Lord thy God shall choose to set his name there. Anybody? Go ahead.
Is that what we call like the truth?
You want it, but I'll give it to you for time's sake. It's wherever the priests say go. That's where the Lord chose. So if like the priests say, you know how the priests say, hey, the Passover is going to be in Florida this year. The Passover is going to be in California this year, or it's going to be in New York. That's the priest, where the Lord shall choose. Is wherever the priests say go. Right? Go ahead.
When the Lord thy God has blessed thee.
And that's the increase that you get from the Lord. When the Lord gives you the increase, that's the blessing, right? But wherever the Lord chooses and wherever it sets his name, that's wherever the priests tell you to go. So when we say, okay, the Feast of First Fruits is going to be in Delaware at this day, on that day, it's coming from the top. But if the generals say, hey, the Passover is going to be in Texas this year, that's where the Lord said to go. That's where he said his name, right? Okay, keep reading. Verse 25.
Then shalt thou turn it into money.
Right. So if you got your corn, you got your flocks, your herds, everything like that, and it's too far for you to bring your money, to bring those things, then turn it into money. Right? When you farming and everything like that, you're not farming to just have, 10,000 tons of tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? You're farming so that you can turn those tomatoes into bread. Right. But in this case right here, it's talking about like the food that you would bring to the priest, the flocks you would bring to the priest, and so on. Right. The herds, the flocks, things like that. But if this way be too far for you to go, then you're supposed to take that and you're supposed to sell it and you're supposed to grab the bread. Right. Keep going.
And bind up the money in thy hand, and shall go into the place which the Lord thy God shall choose. Verse 26, and thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusted for. So like it's after. For oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink.
Say that one more time.
Or for strong drink.
Go ahead.
Or for whatsoever thy soul desireth. And thou shalt eat therefore before the Lord thy God. And thou shalt rejoice, thou and thy household.
Right. So if you sell the whatever you had, right, that you was going to bring, a tenth part of what you was going to bring, you sell it, you make the bread, and then you buy whatever that you was going to bring anyway. Right. So if you was going to bring some liquor, if you was going to bring oil, you was going to bring wine, whatever you was going to bring it. Right. Whatever your soul lusts after. Right. So let me get Malachi 3:8.
You know he was real slick too. Because he was putting emphasis
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they want more bread.
Right. He didn't say. He said he didn't say 10%. You know, he said if you want to do 10%, you can. I'm not saying. He said bring a portion.
Yeah, he's a charlatan, a old school pimp, hustler. You know what I'm saying? Very, very intelligent. Okay, Malachi 3 and 6. No, 3 and 8.
Will a man rob God?
Uh-huh.
Yet ye have robbed me.
Uh-huh.
But ye say, wherein have we robbed thee?
Mm-hmm.
In tithes and offering.
And what?
In tithes and offering.
Right. So that's where, you know what I mean, you're robbing the Lord when you don't, pay your money to the men of the Lord. Right. But this last scripture I'm gonna bring it is gonna bring it all the way home for you. All right. Hebrews 7 and 4. Uh-huh.
Hebrews chapter 7, verse 4.
Mm-hmm. Everybody got it? Y'all good? All right. You good? Y'all good? All right, sis. All right, no sweat.
Now consider how great this man was,
Mm-hmm.
unto whom even the patriarch Abraham gave the tenth of the spoil.
Mm-hmm.
And verily, they that are of the sons of Levi,
Mm-hmm.
who receive the office of the priesthood, have a commandment to take tithes of the people according to the law.
According to what?
To the law.
Right. So remember, at this time, that the law of paying tithes went to the Levites, right? But Abraham paid a tenth to Melchizedek, right? The tenth of all, right? Keep reading.
That is of their brethren,
Mm-hmm.
though they come out of the loins of Abraham.
Right. So that's the Levites, right? Read on.
But he whose descent is not counted from them receive tithes of Abraham.
That's that's Melchizedek. Remember, Melchizedek didn't have a beginning or he didn't have an end. So he wasn't a Levite or nothing. You know what I mean? You can't say who he was. But he got a tenth of all from Abraham. Right? Keep reading.
And blessed him that had the promises.
Uh-huh. So Melchizedek blessed Abraham who had the promises. Right? Read on.
And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better.
So who's the less that's blessed of the better?
Abraham was blessed by Melchizedek.
There you go. Yeah, that was right. Yeah, the less. So Melchizedek is better than Abraham because we know who Melchizedek is. It's Christ, right? So he's blessed of the better, right? Read on.
Verse 8.
Read verse 7 again.
And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better.
Right. So Abraham paid tithes to Melchizedek, even though Melchizedek wasn't from the tribe of Judah. I mean, the tribe of Levi. You get my point? All right, read on.
Verse 8. And here men that died receive tithes.
Say that one more time.
And here men that died receive tithes.
Okay, so when a pastor, I mean not a pastor, but when a person goes and pays tithes, right? When they're giving a tenth, like when a farmer or whatever, when he's giving a tenth of his spoil, right? Like let's just say a tenth of his cattle or a tenth of whatever, what is he really selling?
Would it be like his livelihood?
You want it. What is he selling? When he sells the 10% of his cattle, the 10% of, his fruit, the 10% of his corn, what is he really giving to the priest? 10% of his
Increase.
No, 10% of his No, 10% of his right, you want it. But 10% of his, what do we do every day? Yeah, who said it? Say it again. Work. That's what you're giving. Because you had to make sure that those tomatoes didn't get eaten up by the bugs. You had to make sure that those sheep that were small got separated from the bigger sheep. You had to do the work. You had to do work. Right. So what you're doing is you're giving 10% of your work to the priest, right? But we don't have corn and farms and lambs and goats and all that. We don't have that now. Because the corn and everything that you get now, you have to buy it from somebody else. So how do we get our increase? By working, right? So give 10% of your bread. That's what it is. That's what it's talking about. Your bread is, and why is Paul even saying all this? Does anybody know the story? Why Paul is even saying all this? Paul is saying all this because they didn't want to pay Paul tithes. That's why. So he had to start, you know, like checking them on paying tithes. Like, well, damn, you know what I'm saying? Read it one more time from verse 7.
And without all contradiction, the less is blessed of the better.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 8. And here men that die receive tithes.
Mm-hmm.
But there he receiveth them.
Right. So like men that are just not as important are getting tithes. You know what I mean? Like they're paying tithes to men like Creflo Dollar. You know what I mean? But you won't give 10% to Commander General Yohana. Men that are better. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what this is talking about. Right? Paul is better than whoever the hell they giving their tithes to. This brother looked like he stepped out of the Summertime video with Fresh Prince.
What you call say? I look like a jalopy.
All right, keep reading.
Of whom it is witness that he liveth.
Right, because remember, Paul represents a better priesthood. Paul represents a better priesthood. That's why you should give your tithes, because he represents a better priesthood. If you don't think that tithes, if you think that tithes is corn and you think that it's vegetables, then yeah, bring the vegetables. But you're not going to bring no vegetables in here.
Right.
We know that you're not going to bring no vegetables. Bring 10% of your lambs and your cows. That's fine, because I can take a boy and a girl cow so that I can get more cows and I can breed them, and then we can have food to eat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like livestock. Go ahead.
If I could, sir. When I was a Christian, there was this guy that didn't want to pay tithes, and every day he would come in. Every Sunday he would come in and bring in like dollar menu things from like Burger King and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "What's he doing?" He says, "I'm paying my tithes." It was
Yeah.
wow.
Like the brothers in here, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, man. Like when we pay our donations, our offerings, all that stuff, man, it goes to the school. You know, it goes into what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We want to buy some new chairs. You see these? And this chair is a little bit, it's a little rickety, man. You know what I'm saying? I get with Thusser Young, like, look, Thusser Young, you feel these chairs? He like, yeah, the chairs is looking kind of rough. As I wore, like, remember you was like, yo, man, I think we need some new chairs. Right. You get my point? Like, this is where it comes from. Like, this is what tithes are supposed to do. We supposed to do what Paul did, what Peter did. When the people came and brought the money to Peter, we supposed to take that money and buy a Benz. It's like, it's like it.
Somebody gonna clip it.
I'm just messing with y'all. But you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to take the money and do what's right with the money. Right? And that's what the pastor's not doing. He's taking the money and buying himself a Bentley. You know what I mean? He's not doing what you're supposed to do with the bread. The bread is supposed to help the people, right? Keep reading from verse 9.
And as I may so say, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes in Abraham.
What does that mean? No, keep reading. I'll give you the understanding on it. Keep reading verse 10. Read 9 and 10.
And as I may so say, Levi also, who receiveth tithes, paid tithes in Abraham. For he was yet in the loins of his father, when Melchizedek met him.
What does that mean, Zarabakar?
It means that when Abraham paid tithes to
It said that Levi also, who received tithes, paid tithes in Abraham, for he was yet in the loins of his father.
Right. So Levi paid tithes to Melchizedek as well, because he was in the loins of Abraham.
Meaning what?
That they also paid tithes.
What? But how could you pay tithes if you're in the loins of somebody?
Abraham paid tithes.
Right, because he was in his balls.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was inside of Abraham's, balls.
Oh, right.
And he still was paying because Abraham paid.
Right.
You get my point? And that's what this is talking about. Paul had to actually check them on this because they wasn't trying to pay Paul tithes.
Right.
They ain't want to pay him no money. Just the same way we do it today. No niggas don't want to pay no money. It's like, but you'll pay $200 for the same pair of Jordans to come out.
Right.
And you ain't getting no buns at the club. You know what I'm saying? Like those cats who be like dressed all fly in the club, them cats don't get no broads. Them cats be getting the broads that's mopping the club. Like, they're like, yo, what's up, sis? Of course she'll talk to you. She mopping up the club. The fine chicks, they been going. The fine chicks, they leave at like 11:30. The club closes at 1. They leave at 12:15. They don't stay until 1 o'clock to walk out with the busted chicks. They roll out before all of that. And then after that goes through the chicks that come out at 1 when the lights come on. Then you got the chicks that mop the club up. Then that's who they gonna go get. So you wasting your money. Give it to the Lord, man. 10%. All right. 10% of your increase, man. And if you don't believe that it's money, then just bring some corn. We'll take corn. You know what I mean? We could do a lot with corn. Bring your corn, bring the flocks, bring the sheep, lambs. What else? Huh? Bring all that too. We just started a whole new thing. Bring some chickens, bring everything. You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna bring none of that because, like how we pay now. Our increase comes from working your salary. That's how you get paid. That's your increase, your salary that you pay, that you work for, that you get paid for. And that's what you pay 10% of. Because we ain't got no farms, man. You know what I'm saying? A farm right now is going to cost you about, probably cost you about $170,000, $180,000 for a small farm way out in West Bumble. You know what? You know what I'm saying? It's going to cost you about 180 to 200 grand. And that's just for a farm on the cheap end. You know what I'm saying? Because like a farm that's on a good scale is probably like 400,000 to 500,000, but you can't afford that because your credit ain't up like that, and you damn sure ain't got the down payment. You ain't got 20% of 500,000. You know what I mean? Because 20% of 200,000 40 grand. So you definitely ain't got no 100 to be throwing down on no farm. You know what I'm saying? So bring your 10% in here. All right? No sweat. All right. So I got 10 minutes, but I really got 15 because we started when? It's Robert Carr like, we got to charge those 10 minutes to the game. All right. Dover checking in? All right, you need to get with Thusser Young. His name is Sitch_Tmix4X24. All right. All right, so yeah, get with Thusser Young and you will be in the right spot. All right. Trooper Nahalia. All right, yeah, that's right. All right, no sweat. All right, so I'll save what I had before. I might be going into too much with the whole camp thing because I was going to go into camps, but I'll save it. You know what I mean? So what I'll do is if anybody got any other questions, so y'all good to go? No questions about the commandments? Nothing? They just like, man, look, we trying to get up out of here. All right, no sweat. All right, so I'm going to turn the class over to Precinct Officer Zara Bakar. Yeah, y'all bougie. Y'all like this. All right.
Shalom, Israel. We are the ISUPK.
The water.
The Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge under Commander General Yohana, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. These are the ISUPK security announcements. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to learn and shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, they are to seek counsel from the head. Tithe, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10. Ma'asherah means 10th in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Priest fund, free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. Whatever amount you would like to give, or any size bottle you would like to give.
Mm-hmm.
Upcoming holy convocations. It's the feast of Memorial Blowing of the Trumpet, September 24th, 25th. Salaki. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, men of Israel, Michael, we're going to give a courtesy salute. Men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak, Yahweh, Yashmatah. Sir, we're going to give the sisters one courtesy salute. Sisters Amijah. Men of Israel, Michael Shabbat, Michael, Barak,
Yahweh Shema,
Yashmatah. Class dismissed. Who the